Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tonight's movie, Annihilation. Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, some people, Oscar Isaac I believe is also in this. And Rotten Tomatoes, 87% from the critics, 67% from the audience, and IMDb has it at a 7.1. Real quick synopsis of it: a biologist signs up for a dangerous secret expedition into a mysterious zone where the laws of nature don't apply. It seems like a sci-fi horror drama, if you will. I'm excited to see it. If the ratings are that good, you know, who knows? Could be really good. So I'll get into it, check back in, give you a better idea what the synopsis is truly about, and then tell you what I think about the film. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in. Not too much to tell so far, but I'll clear it up a little bit. 48 minutes and 54 seconds in Annihilation. And it's got me intrigued. Very interested in it. So there's this thing called the shimmer. And basically it looks like when you blow a bubble and you get the prism kind of thing coming down over this area. Okay? It's out there somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but it's creating like a force field. It creates almost like another dimension, but you know what I mean, like you're going into the shimmer, and that's the supernatural stuff. And evidently this thing has been there for, I think, 3 years or something like that, and the government has been investigating it by sending people in. But they send people in and nobody comes back out. And this is where Natalie Portman comes into play. So she was in the military, and so was her husband, Oscar Isaac. Cameron Poe, if you will, or he's in Ex Machina, at Star Wars and all that stuff. But so he's the husband, and he goes on a mission and disappears for 12 months. And evidently, and this isn't a spoiler, but that's where he went. He went into the shimmer, but he's the first person to ever come back out. And he comes back out, but he's a different person. And he finally gets in touch with Natalie Portman, his wife, but he's acting very strange. And the government essentially grabs both of them and brings them back to this base that they have outside the shimmer, where he's like on a ventilator. You know, they're trying to keep him alive. And so a group of 4 other women are going to go into the shimmer because they've been sending a lot of military in, a lot of men in, and they think that might have something to do with it. So they thought if they send in more scientists and women, maybe they can find something else out about what's actually in the shimmer. So Natalie Portman is a biologist, so she's like scraping things and trying to figure it out. And it seems like the whole entire place is connected on one kind of living organism of some sort and stuff like that. So real quick, they run into an alligator, and the alligator is like a different alligator. It seems like it's part of the organisms that are created within there. As soon as they get in there, she wakes up in a tent, and she has no recollection of how she got in the tent. So they're losing memory. At least that did happen once. And so far where we are in the movie, they've caught up to where the last group has gone in, so they have left them a little memory card with some information on it, so that, you know, try and warn the next people who will come in. And that's where it's getting in. And it's going to start to get, I think, a little bit more weirder. But, it, you know, so far so good. I like it. I'm very intrigued. Can't wait to understand it a little bit more. It's very sci-fi, if that's a term. It is now. But I like it. I think it's worth watching up to this part. So one real quick nugget that I want to share with everybody that I never knew about. So when they're in the shimmer, their compasses don't work. I've seen that kind of thing happen a lot. And they're like, well, how do we find how to get south? And I didn't know this, and maybe you did, and maybe my buddy Spud, who was a Weeblo, might know this, or Boy Scouts, that if you take your watch and you point the hour hand towards the sun, and then once you have that and look and split the distance between the hour hand and 12, right in the middle there is south. So if you're ever lost and you don't have a compass but you have a watch on and it's been keeping time, that's a way you can find south. I never knew that. So a little info for you there. But I'm going to get back into it a little bit more and continue to watch this, because it's a pretty neat adventure so far. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright? Hey everybody. We're at the credits of Annihilation. Actually, the credits are over. I was sitting here trying to think, what am I going to say? Like I said, after the first check-in and the only check-in, it was enticing. I liked the mystery. I liked what they were doing. There were a lot of, you know, holes in the movie, or, you know, like, I don't know, silliness. I shouldn't say silliness. I don't know. I mean, you think back about what I've told you so far. So they send in, you know, 4 or 5 women into the jungle because nobody's made it out, and they're scientists instead of sending in military. But as I say that, and I think about it, like, why didn't they send in military with them? You know? But it seems like for 3 years they're just sending people into there, and, you know, nobody ever comes out, kind of thing. And why do they just keep doing that? I don't know. One thing I failed to mention is this: the shimmer continues to grow. So the theory is that once it continues to grow, it's going to start hitting cities and states and take them over, and whatever's happening in there is going to happen everywhere, and eventually probably cover the planet. So that's why they're really trying to figure this out. But so anyway, there's a lot of things like that in this movie. But I tried to, you know, put them aside and not focus on those plot holes or whatever you want to call them. I just really try and enjoy it, and I was really enjoying it. It got a little weird for me. Like, I knew it was scientific. There's a lot of biology speaking about it, and cell splitting, and, you know, one cell splits into 2, 2 go into 4, 4 into 8, so on and so forth, and, you know, that's how, you know, things grow, and that's what they're leading you towards. They also talk about Natalie Portman's affair, not hers, but her character's, Leah, I think her name was, her affair. I'm not sure what really kind of role that played, but that's in here. Sorry if I ruined that for you, but didn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think maybe that's what we're trying to do, is confuse you a little bit. So you're waiting all this time to see, you know, what is this all about? Why is the shimmer there? What's creating the shimmer, and what's gonna become of the shimmer? And it leads you, and, you know, down different paths. Like I said, there's an alligator and things like that. And they talk about refraction, and, you know, how this place is refracting things. So it's kind of like taking them and making them slightly different. I don't quite understand. So that's why I'm having a hard time telling you about this film. I think, you know, if I got to see this first, I might change a couple of things so that it makes it easier, but then am I making it more cookie cutter? You know what I mean? Like, if I make it easy to understand, and maybe a little bit different ending, that really tells the story a little bit better, am I now just making every other Hollywood movie that's out there that does that? And I think maybe they went to try and go somewhere different. This is based on a book, and I don't know if the book was the same way, but it's a tough one. I'm probably gonna 6 or 7 on this one for me. It was leading towards an 8, but then as it kind of got very weird and hard to understand what was happening. You know, so in the beginning of the movie, they say when people go into shimmer, there's basically 2 things that either happens to them: something in the shimmer kills them, or they turn mad and kill themselves, kind of thing. And that's played out right in the beginning, or that's talked about right in the beginning, and so that's what you're trying to think of, and things like that. And they don't, I don't know, they don't give I don't feel a complete explanation. You know, I understand what it is at the end and what's happening, but I don't think they, you know, after 3 years of people going in there, I don't think what happened to these 5 women is the same thing that happens to everybody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, this is a terrible review. Take the first part and the second part, take it from there, and you watch the movie yourself, and then tell me what you think. I think it's worth watching. Again, I'm only giving it a 6 or a 7. It's visually pleasing, I think. You know, like, there's a lot of, it looks pretty neat. But about halfway through the movie, or maybe last quarter of the movie, it got maybe too complex. I don't think it was too complex, because they didn't explain anything. So it's not like they gave a whole bunch of science, and I was like, I don't know what that means. No, they, you know, and I don't know. I think they left that out, and I think they left that out on purpose, but I think they could have put it back in. Oh, sorry. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I'm going to leave it at that. And, you know, hopefully you watch this If you do watch the movie, let me know what you thought. I don't want to ramble on any further. I apologize for this review. It's a tough one. Alright, see you next time if you come back again. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Sorry, I'm back again real quick. I just thought about it just as I stood up and thought to myself, my review is as incoherent as the last half of this movie. So if you got done with that last scene of watching me and felt unsatisfied and still not sure whether you want to watch the movie or not, that's the same feeling you'll get when you get done watching this movie. You're not sure how you feel. So I didn't do that on purpose, but I think it works out. And that's it. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Thanks.